Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Spreadex Six, brought to you by WhoScored. I am your host, George Elek, and I'm delighted to be joined, although again, remotely, not side by side. We'll be back together hopefully next week. It is, of course, Jack Wright. Jack, it's been we're doing this a bit later than usual because we've had plenty of Premier League games over the course of midweek. I know you were at a game earlier in the week that you probably didn't enjoy, but how have you found the midweek football?
Yeah, let's talk about the Premier League, shall we? So yeah, it's been a mad few days, hasn't it? Like lots and lots of action. So yeah, lots to try and keep up to date with.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll get straight into it. This is the show where we go through the weekend's Premier League fixtures, and Jack picks out his 6 bets using Spreadex: total goals, total corners, total booking points. That's 10 points for a yellow, 25 points for a red. Player goal minutes, so a cumulative total of a player's goals in terms of the minutes that they score in. Multi-markets, so match events multiplied by each other, and then match performance as well. Those who are regular viewers will know that very well. But let's start with total goals, and as is the case on the Spreadex Six, if you look below in the description, you will find a link for new customers to Spreadex. If you click on that link, sign up to a new account, you will get a free £10 total goals bet, which you can, if you want, you can use Jack's, or if you want to choose your own bet, you can do that as well. But you are looking at Southampton versus Arsenal. Arsenal, one of two teams with Manchester City who have this midweek off, and you think they are going to make the most of that, buying Arsenal total goals at 2.15.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's actually a main part of the reason I like this bet. Of course, they are the league leaders as well. They are the side in the best form. So why not go with them, especially on the basis of having a little bit of an advantage in not playing in the Premier League, at least this week. So 4 points clear at the top now. All Gunners fans will certainly be taking that at the start of the season going into this weekend. Could obviously be down to 1 by kick-off. Man City do play a little bit earlier in the day than Arsenal. But even so, we're taking this Arsenal side on, who are the second top scorers in the league. 24 goals scored so far. Third highest as far as their shots per game average is concerned at 15.8. And the second highest shots on target per game average at 6.2. And up against this Southampton side that do concede plenty of shots. 9th most shots conceded per game, and actually allowed 25 shots on goal in their last home game against West Ham. So if they allow Arsenal as many chances as that, I'm sure they'll be taking a fair few. They've already shipped 4 against the two sides directly below Arsenal in the league, in Manchester City and in Spurs. And Arsenal have hit 3 goals in 3 of their last 4 games. So, and as we mentioned, Southampton did play in midweek. They had a tough South Coast derby against Bournemouth. They did keep their first clean sheet of the season in that one, but I don't expect that run to continue here. And so with no EPL action for the Gunners, just that Europa League rearranged tie where they will obviously be heavily rotated. Their key men will be fresh and looking to take advantage. And therefore we're buying Arsenal goals at 2.15.
There you go, Arsenal team goals buying at 2.15. Southampton fans still seemingly asking for Ralph Hasenhüttl's P45 despite winning in midweek as well. Not a particularly happy ship at the moment. On to corners now. Spurs put in a really abject display at Old Trafford in midweek. They host Newcastle, who keep going from strength to strength. I'm pretty interested in your selection here. Total corners 10 to sell, 10.5 to buy.
Yeah, I will be buying at 10.5. This is one of those games that I'd kind of earmarked, ready for it to come up in the calendar, due to the fact that these are two of the best teams for corners in the league. Newcastle have taken more than anyone else, 82 corners so far, an average of 7.45 per game. And on the road, they're the 4th highest with 5.6. Spurs have the 5th highest average, well, taken the 5th most amount of corners, 58 at 5.27. And only Newcastle have a higher average at home than Tottenham's 8.2. Spurs games at home average 10.8, Newcastle's away average 11.4, so very high lines there across the board. And I think this game will be set up perfectly for both sides to exploit what they've been doing all season. So Newcastle only know one way to play, that's front foot. So they'll go and attack this Spurs side that like to sit back, like to soak up the pressure, and like to hit on the counter-attack, which will result in corners at both ends. And I'm taking the line, as I said, buying at 10.5.
There we go, buying 10.5 in Tottenham against Newcastle. Newcastle's opportunity, I think, there to really show they are genuine top 4 contenders. A massive game for them. Cards now, and it is, of course, the big game of the weekend. Chelsea hosting Manchester United. United coming into this full of confidence after that win against Spurs. Chelsea with a couple of fairly flat performances, despite beating Villa and Brentford, I would say. But this is always a big game. Two teams, there are no love lost between these two. And I'm excited for you to tell me who is the referee for this big tie.
Okay, well, I'll come along to that in a moment. So we'll see. Looking to keep the run going. We picked up some more profit last week, 50 booking points in the game last week. So a little bit of profit. That's Paul Tierney's second winning week for us in a row. I think I might give him the week off this week. Or will I? We'll wait and see. As you said, a massive clash at the bridge here. 4th place, 5th, so certainly Champions League places, both in contention for that, both in good form to a certain extent, and but 2 of the top 3 in the league that matters, and you know what I'm talking about there, the booking points top 20. So both have picked up plenty of cards this season so far, averaging exactly 30 booking points per game for individual teams. Chelsea at home have gone 30, 45, 40 and 20. Man United away have gone 40, 30, 30, 30 and 10, and that 10 come in when they had most of the ball against Everton. 70 booking points in this last season, so as you rightly say, no love lost there. Anthony Taylor was the referee that day. And going into this week's action, the most important man, the man in the middle is, drumroll, Stuart Atwell.
Here we go. Ah, lovely.
Yeah, a player, bigger than him up even more. A referee that we have played before and won on before. He's the number 2 ranked referee in the booking points table going into this week, averaging exactly 50 booking points per game. So as we said, 10 booking points for a yellow card, 25 for a red. He's actually shown 20 yellow cards and 2 red cards so far this season. So there is a chance we might see someone disappearing down the tunnel early in this game. Yeah. I wonder who that could be.
That would be exciting.
From off the pitch as well, rather than the sub bench.
Into the car park or into the dressing room?
Well, I don't know. On a flight back to Portugal, maybe. Anyway, we digress. He's refereed both sides this season as Stuart Atwell, and he showed Man United 4 yellow cards in his game at Brentford, and Chelsea 2 yellow cards and a red card in that loss at Leeds. So it's quite a high line, but justification. And as I say, we're going to keep our run going here. Buying at 54, Stuart Atwell can do the business, I am sure.
Buying at 54, Chelsea versus Manchester United. The bookings play, as I say, 10 points for a yellow card, 25 points for a red. Player goal minutes now. We are going to nail one of these soon. I have no doubt about it. Playing another low line here, looking at Virgil van Dijk. Liverpool, of course, playing Nottingham Forest away in the early kickoff on Saturday. Forest have some serious defensive issues, as we've seen, albeit a little bit better in midweek. But I reckon Virgil is the man to get on the score sheet, buying his player goal minutes. I assume you're buying. I'd be surprised if you're selling at 4. Buying at 7.
Yes, we'll buy at 7. Yeah, we were very unlucky with Solly March last time round. He couldn't have got any closer than the chances he had. But there we go. We're getting there. We're on the right line. So, as I said, I wanted to take on Forest here. Obviously, a side that are one of the worst defences in the league. Only Leicester have conceded more than their 23 goals. And also, they're a side that concede a lot from set pieces, which of course brings Virgil into play as someone that can take advantage of that. And of course, we all know that Liverpool do have some fairly good exponents of swinging the old cross and corner into the box. So 6 set-piece goals Forest have conceded so far. As I said, no one has conceded more than that. And only Everton have conceded more than their average 16 shots per game. You rightly say they've changed their tactic a little bit over the last couple of weeks where they've sat in a lot deeper. They're less front foot. They're less aggressive. They're soaking up pressure. And that was highlighted this week, to be fair, when Brighton had 70% of possession, 19 shots and 9 corners. Something similar against his Liverpool side should mean there will be a fair few goals. And so especially like from the fact that they are conceding plenty of set pieces and especially corners. Virgil averages a shot per game. He's had 10 shots from 10 appearances. So, suits my easy maths to a T, that one. And he's already scored one. And that coming against a fellow newly promoted side in Bournemouth. He's got 8 goals across his last 2 seasons as well. So he's got a fair record, to say the least. And I think it's about time he had another one. So we're going to buy his goals minutes line at 7.
Buying Virgil van Dijk's player goal minutes at 7. 2 more markets in our Spreadex 6 this week, looking at multi-markets and match performance. Multi-markets is multiplying 2 match values against each other. Back to the game you were just talking about, Nottingham Forest hosting Liverpool. And you're doing goals times bookings. Remember, this is booking points. So again, 10 for a yellow, 25 for a red. Volatile market, this one, so do stake accordingly. 121 to sell, 136 to buy.
Yeah, and given what we then said about the possible amount of goals in this one, we're obviously buying at 136.
Yeah. Imagine.
So, yeah, just been through much of the reason why we should see goals. Liverpool have taken the second highest amount of shots in the league, 175 so far. Only 2 shots behind Manchester City. Only the top 2 have scored more than Liverpool's 22 goals as well. And despite their defensive woes, which again obviously will play into this because it is a total match goals bet rather than a team bet, and their injuries, they still have a wealth of talent up front which can exploit this sort of championship-based Nottingham Forest defensive line. As for the BPs, well, the man in the middle is, it's Paul Tierney. I just can't resist him, can I? I really can't.
No.
So he's back. He's there. Especially bearing in mind he's taken a game involving Nottingham Forest, who have picked up 30 yellow cards so far this season. No side has more. And also a league high 17 when playing at the City Ground, playing at home. So as we know, PT, as I feel I'm on that kind of terms with him now, is the number one official. PT, yeah.
Would you apply him as your PT?
I've probably got better uses for him, mainly refereeing a game and showing lots of cards. But
Okay.
he can do pretty much no wrong as far as I can see at this moment in time. So why not?
Good. Yeah.
Official number 1 this week again, averaging 52.5 booking points per game. And last time he took a Liverpool game, he got that red ticket out, red card and 6 yellow cards. So much more of the same here would be handy. Buying that line at 136.
Buying at 136 in Liverpool, travelling to Forest. Final one is, of course, match performance. This is where you have a value attributed to a goal scored, a card shown, a penalty awarded, corners, and then, of course, minus 25 if the match finishes as a 0-0. And Everton versus Palace is getting the match performance sell treatment here, selling at 82.
Yes, stinker of the week goes to Everton versus Palace this week. That's the idea. So a little bit of profit last week, and I do mean a little bit. Wolves Forest ended 1-0. The 2 penalties given in that game caused us a dent to those profits. But talking to Wolves, only their games have seen less than Everton's total of 20 goals across their games so far this season. And no club and no home fans have seen fewer than the 7 goals that the Goodison faithful have witnessed this season. I watched Palace's last away game, and it was a tough watch, to say the least. It was a 0-0 at Leicester, and although they were a lot better this week, in midweek, Palace, and performed kind of as to expect, that was at home, where they tend to lift their game certainly considerably. So I'm going to take that they'll revert back to away form type here, and certainly go for a low-scoring game. Everton, as always, we say there could be a little bit of pain somewhere, and that could come in the corners, where Everton have the highest average corners at home. Their games have seen 14.4 on average, but the visitors do contribute on average 9 corners in those games. So given that Palace have one of the lowest averages at 8.7, we should see that come. This will be a bit more Palace and a little less Everton, I think, for the corner line there. And the referee, much is the same way as I'm magnetised towards Paul Tierney, PT. When I'm selling and when I'm looking for low corner card counts, I tend to be magnetised towards this man at the moment. It's Super Simon Hooper, who again has now hit rock bottom. Lowest card per game average at 2.57 in the Premier League. After 3 games showing 2 yellow cards, he lowered the bar further yesterday, showing just 1. So, again, a low goal count, a low card count, and a fairly average corner count will see us home and hosed in this one, where we're selling at 82.
Lovely stuff. Selling at 82 there is the final selection in hopefully the snore game of the weekend in Everton against Crystal Palace. There we have it. Jack Spreadex Six ahead of the weekend's fixtures. As I mentioned, do click on the link below. If you haven't got a Spreadex account, click on that link, set up an account, and you'll get a totally free £10 goals bet. Terms and conditions do apply that you can find on the site. And do check out Spreadex anyway for all of your spread betting needs ahead of the weekend's football and all other sports as well. Do remember, of course, that losses can exceed your initial deposit. Do check out the WhoScored site where you can find all the stats you need across football this weekend and onwards as well. So go and check that out, and do subscribe to the WhoScored YouTube channel so you can find your Spreadex 6 episodes there every single week, amongst lots of other preview content up there as well. Thank you very much to Jack.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for watching this show, and we will be back again next week. Please do enjoy the football.
Together in the studio?
Yes, hopefully. Side by side. That's the plan, unless anything comes up. Enjoy the football this weekend, and as is always the case, please do ensure that you're gambling responsibly.